Yeah. So guys, today we are going to understand about scripted REST API. So scripted REST API is something that everything you can do it using scripting. You can build the request, you can build the response, whatever the request that you want to send, you can build the request. You can actually whatever the request that you want to, whatever the response that you want to receive, you can actually build the response as well. That is a advantage with the scripted REST API. Everything you can actually do it using scripting, whatnot, everything. Okay. So here, so you let us just go to scripted REST API. Okay. So here in the scripted REST API, create incident. Okay. So under the scripted REST API, we have created resource. This is actually the resource. Okay. So this resource we have actually built in this resource. We have written the script. Okay. So from the request body, we are receiving the request. We are placing the details in the staging table. So whatever the request that comes, first we have to keep it in placing staging table. That is actually for tracking purpose. What is the request that is coming from the external system? First, we have to store it in staging table. So then once you place it in staging table, then you will do the validations. So if the successful, if there is no error, then we will directly create a record on the incident table. If error equal to empty. If there is an error, what we will do, we will send the error as a response. If there is no error, we will actually send a response as incident number, incident CCD status as 200. So here, this is actually the resource path. So to this URL, okay. So this is actually the resource path. This is called resource path. So let me just take this out. Okay. Let me just take this out. And here we need request body as well. Do we have that request body? We have to build it again. We have to build that request again. Okay. This is the request. Okay. So authentication is already provided. Authentication is already provided. So I'll take these details. I'll go here in my ServiceNow instance. Okay. So we have already REST message, right? We have already a REST message. So what I would will do, let us just go to the REST message. So why do we use REST message? To trigger to send the request from the ServiceNow system to external system. I am going to create a new one. Okay. Okay. Basic authentication. Okay. I'm just creating a request message, REST message. Creating a HTTP method. Post. We have to provide the content. $C caller. $D. $SD. Okay. So let us just click on test whether it is sending the request or not. 401 credentials issue. What we will do here, we'll have to again change the password. This integration user. We'll now test here. This time it is successful. Caller is a mandatory field, state is a mandatory field. Response is also it is giving properly. So here we are passing empty values, right? We are just providing keys there. We are not passing any value, right? Here we are not passing any values. So what I do, I will generate the variables here. So it will not actually send some random value I am bringing. So it will actually query the user table in the external system. It will give invalid caller. So now if I send the request, right? Invalid caller, state is invalid. Invalid caller, state is invalid. My system is able to reach external system. So what we have to do? We have to trigger this test message from the business rule, right? So in my incident table, okay. So this one active false. This one also I am making active false. Okay. Okay. C short description SD DCT. ST. Okay. So response result dot number. So sys ID, let me just click on test. So response we have to take care of. Response right here. Sys underscore ID on sys ID. This is the one which you have to take. Number sys ID. Okay. So using that scripted REST API, we have actually created a REST message. We are triggering the REST message through the business tool. Okay. Now let us try to create an incident record here. So I'm using Abed Fath here. Abed Fath record is not there in the external system. It should not create a record. Okay. So when I create a record here, it should not create a record there. So it has given the response as 200, but it did not create a record. It did not create a record. Okay. So why did it not create record here? Here we have actually kept the status code, right? In place of that, error, right? We'll create one more record. See, what is it telling? Invalid caller. Okay. So let me just create a new incident record here. I'm selecting Abraham Lincoln. Abraham Lincoln record is there in the external system, right? So we'll create a record here. So it has created the record in the external system, and then now we are able to populate the details here, right? Okay. So here it is giving undefined because there is no error. There is no error. So here we have to understand about update. For updating the record, CCID is mandatory. So what we have to do here in this case, here we have to create another resource. Patch. Here, why can't we use put? Why can't we use put here in this case? Both put and patch both are used for updating, right? So usually put is something that which will replace hold request. To if you want to update short description. If you want to update short description, if you are not sending any value, it will update short description. But remaining values, it will keep it as empty. Total request will be replaced. Okay. So patch is something that if you are passing short description, only short description field will be updated. Let us use patch here. We need we need sysid mandatory. So here you will actually, in the relative path, you will actually define the path here. Sysid. Okay. In the resource path, sysid is mandatory one. Okay. So let me just give a try. Explore REST API. This one also we had used create. For patch we did not use create, right? We can use update. Okay. If we refresh this one here, sysid is mandatory. We made sysid mandatory here. The REST API. They have to pass the sysid. So when they are updating the when I am updating the record, which record has to be updated in the external system? If we have the sysid, we'll have a reference. Okay. Then what we will do after getting the sysid? We will place the request into. Let me just open this one. Let me just copy paste the script. Okay. I don't have to do the validations this time. Sorry guys. I don't need all these details here. So let us say if you need all these details as well, you can keep it something like this. So you have to place the request in the staging table at any cost. You have to place either it is update, delete, whatever, you have to place the request in the staging table. So you have to access this sysid. How do you access? Here, where target ID is equal to request dot path params dot sysid. Okay. Request dot path params dot sysid. Okay. We have to glide the table. We have to glide the table. We have to query the table. How do we query the table? Using glide record, where gr inc equal to new glide record. Inside this glide record, you will actually query the incident table. Grinc dot add query. Okay. So table name is actually, sorry, sysid. You have to query with sysid because we are actually getting the sysid, right? This target ID. So grinc dot query. Here, try to understand one thing. If grinc.next. What we have to do? We have to update the record. What do we have to update? So we have to do some validations here. We have to do the validations here. Okay. If the invalid, if they are actually trying to update with invalid color, they are trying to update with invalid state, then also we need validations, right? So I'm not keeping any validations here. I'm just keeping small validations. If color is there, if color is there, grinc dot color underscore id is equal to this request color. Okay. Similar way I'm keeping for all. Okay. So here you have to use dot update. Okay. Sorry. Field values. Yeah. Okay. Okay. So what is the response that we have to send here? If no record exists, else. So here you can take error object, normal object. Okay. So we have error string as well. No record found. Okay. No record found. And here in the response body, here in the response body, we have to set the body response body. Okay. So for updating, what we need? Status. Nothing much required. Obj dot status is equal to, so we can keep 200. Obj dot comments is equal to updated successfully. So here error obj, error obj dot error is equal to so if resource doesn't exist, then what we can do? So whatever the response that you can send. Let us say I'm actually giving 300 response. So here what I do, if error message okay, here sysid. Let us just take this particular record sysid, enter this particular system ID. So system ID I'm actually passing empty. Okay. For updates, I did not keep any validations, right? I'm just clicking on send here. See, we will see the response. 200 updated successfully. 200 updated successfully. Okay. So then what we will do, we will take this URL. We'll create a REST message there. We already have a REST message there here, right? Under this REST message, we'll create a new HTTP method. $. I think nothing much required here. So we'll generate the variables. Let us just take this SID. We'll click in the SysID. I am actually passing this particular SysID. In the shard, in the ST main state, right? State, I'm giving as 2 here. Shard description, I'm giving test update 2. Description, test update 2. Contact type, email. Caller empty I'm passing. Just clicking on test here. 200. So result status 200, comments updated successful. So my system is able to reach external system. Now what I do, I'll trigger this test message HTTP method from business rule. So from this business rule, what I do, update. So there is already one, right? I'll copy paste this one. Okay. Okay. Here we have to pass one extra thing. SysID. In this SysID, we have to pass correlation ID, right? Okay. Now what I am going to do is I am going to update this particular record as test 3. Test 3. And state as in progress. What else? Caller Alin motor and I'm select. So I'm just saving this one. It would have created it would have updated record on the external system. Let us take this particular record out. We'll go to the incident table. It has updated this record, right? It seems it has created new records, right? Here. With the guest user. I think earlier there was transform app that was run, I believe. Guest user, we did kept guest user there only, right? So now it would have we are deactivated, right? That business will be that was already deactivated. And however, from the REST message, Okay, staging table is same, right? Staging table is same, right? On the staging table, whatever is the record created, the transform app will run, right? That is the reason. You guys are able to understand? Yes. So if you change the staging table name, it will not trigger the transform app. It will not create any record. Understand? So because of that staging table, it is running the transform app. Hmm. I didn't get you. Hmm. It will be updated as empty. So here we have passed color as Elin Motran. All these values are updated here, right? Okay. So because we need SysID mandatorily to update the record. So here what we have done here, the path param we have made SysID as mandatory. To delete the record also we have to use path param. So here in the script you will actually write a glide record to delete the record. Okay. So this is how you will actually use scripted REST API for inbound integrations. We understand table API, import set API, and scripted REST API for inbound integrations. For outbound integrations, we used REST message. So we can trigger the REST message from any server-side scripting, from workflow, from flow designer, from UI actions, from scheduled jobs, whatever the server-side script you take. Okay. So if you notice one thing here, we have seen only unidirectional integration. From my system to external system, it is going. It should be both the communication, both way communication, two-way communication. That is actually called bidirectional integration. So whenever I create record here, that should be created there. When I update the record there in the system, that record should be updated here. When they create the record here, that should be created here. When I update that record, that should be updated there. So that is actually bidirectional communication. We'll be learning bidirectional communication in tomorrow's session. Okay. Hope you understand the scripted REST API, import set API, and table API. So scripted REST API is more advanced, as you know. Everything you can do it using scripting. Okay. So guys, rest of the guys, you guys can communicate with the rest of the members. Okay. So tomorrow we are planning to take the session at 9 a.m. Okay. It will be 2-hour session, 9 to 10, 10:30 to 11:30. So it will be bi-directional integration. Okay, guys, we'll see you tomorrow. Thank you all.